So in the world of mastering, what are the three things that, and I'm not looking for this isn't a quick answer, right? This is a truly deep dive, 3 inches wide, 3 miles deep. What do they really need to master?
So if anyone on watching this were coming to us and saying, I'm interested in getting into coaching, what I would ask them, which I would encourage them to ask themselves, is what is the vision for my business for the next 3 to 5 years? So where do I want to end up? Because if we know where you want to go, now we can build that path and that blueprint to get there. So do they want to be ultra luxury? Do they want to do high end in luxury? Where would they be happy if their business came from X sources? So what do they want to build? Then I like to ask them to consider, what do I already do well? Because normally what they already are doing well and where they're already getting their business, I'm going to say a word I don't use very often, but I have never, in all the 80,000 plus coaching calls, I have never met an agent that was doing what they did well perfectly. Right? And that's actually pretty exciting. I don't say that to be at all condescending or disrespectful, but the great news about that is if somebody's great strength is working their past clients and their sphere of influence, and they tell me that 85% of their business comes from that, then I would look to find the gaps. Where are the gaps that if we close those gaps, we can now add another 25, 35, or 50% growth without taxing yourself and being miserable, because it's actually something you already do well. So I always want to go to, where's their business coming from? How do we dig deeper into those sources? Everyone needs at least 3 to 5 key sources of opportunity. Because if you have just one or just two, it gets bumpy. At times that might pay off and at other times it's not. So there are 3 to 5 sources and their action plan to work those sources, because if it's a predictable machine, it will produce a predictable result. And this is a simple example. I was talking to a great luxury agent this morning that we coach, and I said to him, how are you doing with making your 5 strategic connections a day? And he said, so far, so good for the year, because we determined that if he would just talk to 5 quality people a day, eye to eye or ear to ear, don't have to be strangers, but they have to talk about real estate, that his business is probably going to quadruple this year. 5, but that is a system that he needed to add to be very purposeful about making those connections. And then we have to look at, what are they saying? So for example, if we go back to leaving the business at the door, well, how do I go into these social situations and bring up real estate? And I always recommend, talk about the other person first. How are they? How is their business, or what business are they in? Where do they live? How long have they lived there? When you ask people questions about themselves, they love it. And most people, if they're reasonably polite, will turn around and say, by the way, what do you do?
Sure.
Right? And as soon as they do that, now you say, well, I sell real estate. And what's their next question going to be?
Right.
How's the market? Yep. So we do teach our clients, don't say the market's great, or the good old days of Tom Hopkins, first trainer I ever attended an event at the age of 17. He said, say it's unbelievable, because that could be unbelievably bad or good. The problem, though, is it doesn't open the conversation. So when someone asks you that in this type of an event, first of all, I would say, thank you for asking. Actually, it's a very opportunistic market. There are strong opportunities for buyers, still equally strong opportunities for sellers. I'm curious, why do you ask? Is there a question that you have about a particular opportunity? Just being gracious, right? Gracious and polite. Maybe it goes nowhere. As you're leaving, you say, by the way, there is something I do for my friends and family. Maybe you would like to be included in that information loop. So, very white glove, very calm. You're not pushing your business card into their hand, and yet you want to step into that conversation.
Well, and that was excellent. And the thing that I took from that is how you actually closed the loop was by giving something, right? I provide this to my friends and family, and this would be information, which today is a currency, right? I mean, it's the date, there's so much data out there that that folks have that it's almost too much. And so to be curated by a professional, that's a tremendous gift you can give and a way to do that.
And in fact, I just thought of a funny story. One of our great clients, he said, I always have something on my phone, a market report, a graph, something brand fresh and new, that I have on my phone. And so he said, when I go into this type of situation and they're asking me, I say, oh, you know what? There was something I was just looking at the other day. Let me pull this up for you. And he said that he'll have that. He's showing it to them. And within a couple moments, there's a little crowd around him. He said, it drives my wife nuts. She's like, oh, you were holding another seminar, I see. But he said, I never leave without a lead.